Hi, what's up guys? Alan here. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts on This, where I speak on my thoughts on certain things, and in this case, movies. And today, I'll be giving my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie presented by Illuminations and Nintendo, and starring Chris Pratt as the voice of Mario. Based on the iconic video game franchise from Nintendo, two brothers, Mario and Luigi, find themselves separated when transported from Brooklyn all the way to the Mushroom Kingdom ruled by Princess Peach. And it's up to them to save the kingdom and his brother from Bowser and his evil clutches to rule the world. Now, what did I think about this film? I saw the film in theaters within the first couple weeks it came out back in April, and I thought it was great. Everything about this film was just entertaining from beginning to end. Like, there's a lot of things I can describe it. It was fun, it was colorful, it was humorous, like, never a dull moment whatsoever. Like, every second of it kept me excited. When I first saw the trailers, I knew it was going to be good, but I did not expect it to be that good. In fact, it turned out to be way better than I thought. I can definitely say it's one of the best films that Illuminations has produced, and the best animated film of this year, and heck, even the best film of the year. Like, it was that amazing. And if we're gonna talk about the animation style, it's nothing that special. Like, it's the same style that you would see in previous Illuminations films. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, like, I'm saying that it looks like something that we've already seen, and honestly, I like this style for this film, and I think it actually works because the visuals were actually spot on from the games. Like the landscapes, the way that the characters were designed, like even like the tiniest little details, like it all complemented the Mario games perfectly, and it was very well adapted onto the film. The voice cast for this film was amazing, and despite it being like this so-called A-list cast, like they all brought a fun energy into the film. Chris Pratt did a fantastic job voicing Mario, and I'm glad he did not mimic that exact voice from the games throughout, and that he put his own little spin on it for the most part. I think it would have been kind of boring, cringy, and a little bit annoying to have him do that voice through the whole film, so I'm happy with what he's done with the role. It's definitely a fresh spin on an iconic character that we got to know and love throughout the years. For Luigi, if you're gonna cast someone to capture his cowardice personality, like, I think Charlie Day was definitely the right person for that. Like, he absolutely nailed it with the role. And him in the damsel in distress role instead of Princess Peach just works, and it fits more with this story. Speaking of Princess Peach, who is voiced by Anya Taylor-Joy, has a more spunky personality in this film. And as far as the voice acting goes, I thought she was okay. Like, she sounded mid compared to the rest of the voice cast. Like, I thought that she sounded very generic, like your very typical like modern female hero, like the types you would see in Disney's newer animated films. Despite that, however, she did her job, and the voice that she brought did match the personality of the character, and I love that she is portrayed as someone that can hold her own and be like this headstrong leader. Plus, it was refreshing to not have her in need of rescue and be the one coming to someone else's rescue. And kind of like what I said before, it's a fresh spin on a character that we know and love. As for Seth Rogen, I think he fits well with Donkey Kong. Some people might have a problem with it, but for me, he was alright. The personality he brought complemented the character's attitude from the game, so he gets a pass from me. Keegan-Michael Key definitely brought a lot of enthusiasm when voicing Toad, making him the standout amongst the other Toads in the film. And props to Fred Armisen's Cranky Kong and Kevin Michael Richardson's Kamek, who also brought a lot of enthusiasm to their roles. And Charles Martinet, aka the original voice of Mario, brought a nostalgic callback to the games with his brief cameo and small role. Finally, the biggest standout amongst the voice cast is not other than Jack Black's take on Bowser. At first I was skeptical, like I wasn't sure how he was going to do in this role, and I'm glad to say that I was surprised because he actually pulled it off. Like, when I heard his voice in the trailer, I was like, that was Jack Black? Like, I was shocked because it sounded nothing like him. And this proved how good he was because his voice matched up to Bowser's actual voice from the games, and he executed that so well. And I think what really made the character fun was how he's written as someone you don't want to mess with, and at the same time a hopeless romantic who wants to win the heart of someone that doesn't love him back. It makes him so dominant and yet stupidly hilarious. Like, you can't help but laugh. The score for this film was just brilliant. I'm cutting it there. Like, it's a blend of cinematic music and tributes to the classic music that you know and love from the games. For example, the score used in the final battle between Mario, Luigi, and Bowser, paying homage to the Star Power Up theme song that has been in various Mario games throughout the years. As for the songs featured in this film, like, I thought they were okay. Like, I could see why some people may be annoyed by some of them, like Holding Out for a Hero, which has been in so many films. But other than that, I think the songs just add an extra motivation into certain scenes, and I have no problem with it. The only critical thing I would have to say, and this is kind of a hot take for me, if you are going to use like very notable songs, I would suggest using songs that have never been used before, like newer songs even. Like there's no reason to use like the same retro songs that has been used like so many times. But that is my suggestion. And as far as the song Peaches goes, I think it's cool that Jack Black brought some of his musical talents into this film, and no matter how ridiculous that song may be, it added that extra goofiness that made the film fun. And I think the best part of this film, which I think we can all agree on, were all the references to the past Mario games. Like, everywhere you look, there's at least one reference that the newer and older generation will be able to identify, like whether it's cameos, items, certain sounds, subtle or in your face. It is littered with references from every game that has been released the past few decades, like the Super Marios for example, the Mario Karts, Luigi Mansion, even other Nintendo franchises outside of Mario like the Donkey Kong franchise. I think all of these references add that nostalgic feel to the film because this is a franchise that has been around for so long and has been a part of many people's childhoods, like myself included. Like, I still remember the first Mario game and Nintendo game I ever played was Mario Kart DS, and that was kind of like my introduction to both Nintendo and the franchise. If you're a huge fan of the Super Mario franchise or Nintendo in general, I would definitely recommend you watching this film. Like, as much as it is targeted towards kids, it's also for the entire family and for people who love the games growing up. Whether you're a kid today that loves Super Mario or being introduced to it for the first time, or you're an adult watching it for the nostalgia factor, I can guarantee you will love this film. Alright, that sums up all of my final thoughts I have for this film, and if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments, and if you haven't already, subscribe. It would really mean a lot, and that's all I have to say, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!